Lately, it seems like there's been an awful lot of finger poking by pretty much everybody in the industry towards miners, claiming that miners are the sole responsibility of why there are no gaming cards available. And I'm going to tell you this right off the bat. There's no way that just miners alone are responsible for the situation. Even if they're buying hundreds of cards and stuff, like Jay's 2 cents made a video and the science guy replied and all these guys replying, disagreeing with Jay, blah, blah, blah. I mean, miners are a small part of the problem, but I want you to really identify something that I believe is the true culprit of all of this, and I think it's AMD and NVIDIA themselves. Now you might ask, well, Elric, why are you saying this? Well, in the past, we've seen shortages for little lengths of time. We have, it's happened. But never for the longest period of time like it's been going on now. It's been going on literally for almost a year, it seems like, where video card prices have just gotten outrageous. AMD and NVIDIA are obviously not making enough cards. They're just not making cards at all. Now, are they doing this on purpose? I mean, I seem to think that they are. And another thing that kind of jumbles into this, if you're paying attention to what's going on in the market, a lot of these companies now are talking about selling directly to you, which means they'll eliminate all the board companies. They won't be, you won't be able to go get an Asus branded card. You wouldn't be able to get a Gigabyte card, an MSI card, EVGA card. You wouldn't be able to get any of those cards because the companies would be selling these things directly to you. So if they sell you directly to you, you totally, completely cut out the middleman. Now, I don't know if it's going to be bad or good, but the video card companies themselves, AMD and NVIDIA, both have to be guilty of not making cards. Because let's just face it, if these companies were manufacturing cards and putting out cards at a constant basis, why would there ever really truly be a shortage? Think about it. Even if a miner goes out there and he buys 1,000 cards, why isn't NVIDIA and AMD making a lot of cards to replace these cards? I mean, it doesn't really make much sense. To me, having this large gap and for the prices going on for so long like this, there's no way that just people who do mining are the ones that are responsible for this stuff. And if you guys can hear the garbage truck in the background, I hugely apologize. I'd love to go out and slap the guy for making so much noise, but he's just doing his job. It's driving me nuts as I try to talk to you guys. But at the end of the day, man, AMD and NVIDIA have to be guilty at some level for this shortage of cards, because if they were making enough cards to fill the market, there wouldn't be this giant shortage and prices wouldn't be where they're at. Now, all these companies both sit back and they say, oh, hey, we're not making any money off of this or anything, everybody else is gouging the prices. Well, check it out. As the prices are getting gouged, now all of a sudden you see these companies going, well, gee, we'll sell to you directly. Why do you think that is? Think about it. They want to sell to you directly because then they'll claim there are shortages and you'll get completely, utterly screwed. Now, you guys might not really realize this, but diamonds are worthless. I'm being honest with you. If you really look into the information, it's completely worthless. The reason that they cost so much money is that these guys called De Beers, they've basically put a cap on the market that only allows a certain amount of diamonds to trickle onto the market. And since they only allow those certain amount of diamonds to trickle on the market, they control the price. Because in all honesty, they have a warehouse that's full of so many diamonds that your diamonds that you have are virtually, utterly worthless. And I'm telling you the truth here. They are completely worthless. Now, is this same thing going to start happening in the video card market? So like, were these companies just going to hold back and let things trickle out so now NVIDIA and AMD themselves can charge you $1,100 for their card directly from them? Because, and I'm going to be completely, utterly honest with you, there's no way on God's green earth that these suckers want to sell directly to you unless they want to be making more money off the cards. So instead of letting Newegg gouge you, instead of letting Amazon, Bob's Mom and Pop Shop gouge you, now AMD and NVIDIA will gouge you directly. So when you go to buy these cards, if there's a shortage, guess what? NVIDIA will be like, oh, well, there's a shortage in the car. We can't make any, So now your 1080 Ti is going to cost you $1,400. Is that going to become the normal? Because if it is, AMD and NVIDIA, you have completely, utterly screwed over the PC gaming industry. What once was a very fun thing and got to be competitive in gaming will now become something that really, like I said before, only the rich will be able to get into. Because if all your video card prices start costing more than any other component in your computer, that's just crazy. Traditionally, the most expensive part in your computer is when you buy a really, really good CPU. If you buy a super duper high-end Intel i7 latest generation with all the bells and whistles, you usually see those between $900 and $1,300 for the desktop and $2,000 to $3,000 for workstation and even more for other things. So that's usually where people put their money into. People usually build their PC and then all of a sudden get to the video card and go, wow, my video card just cost me as much as all the rest of my parts. And that's where it's at right now. I released the Red Dragon video just yesterday. All of a sudden I'm starting getting all these emails from people asking me to sell it to them at cost or trade it to them and do this. And we just got the card in here for review. I haven't even had time to even review this card. But yet people are always, already asking, hey, can I buy this card from you? Can I buy it at cost and get it? I'm not selling any of my samples at this point. It's just too hard to get a hold of the samples, and replacing them is next to impossible. The only way, like I said before, to get a video card for a decent price is to buy a pre-built system. Now you can find pre-builts from all the way low end all the way to high end, so you really can get a good system that way. I know, yes, for those people who want the total personal touch and everything, that kind of sucks, but if you want to be able to afford a video card, that's pretty much what you have to do. So at the end of the day, I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with me? Because I honestly think that miners, sure, miners are a problem. They buy a lot of cards. But the bottom line is this: if there were plenty of cards on the market, why would there be price gouging? You see how many cars there are, right? You drive around the world, you see cars parked everywhere. They have so many cars. So at that many cars, they really can't start gouging the prices, but they could do the same thing with cars, just stop making them. And that's what I feel that AMD and NVIDIA are doing at this time point. They have ramped the crap down out of their manufacturing process, therefore creating this huge vacuum in the industry that everybody's now pointing their fingers to the miners at and saying, hey, it's the miners, it's the miners. Well, you know what? That's an easy scapegoat. We can all easily sit back on our laurels and go, yep, it's those filthy frickin' miners. Yep, it's them. But no way in God's green earth, no way in hell either, that miners are solely responsible for the entire market having a shortage on video cards. AMD, NVIDIA, I don't know exactly what you guys are doing right now, but it just smells awfully fishy. Don't you agree?